Hi everybody, welcome back to Small Caliber Arms Review. I'm Richard, and for years I've been sitting here at my gun bench mounting scopes on rifles, and most of the time I've been using the Caldwell shot bags, or maybe the Caldwell Matrix or the Hydra sled or something. Those are all designed for shooting. They're not really designed for doing gun maintenance or gun modifications or anything. And it gives me a little bit of difficulty when I'm trying to get a rifle leveled up and then try to get the scope leveled up on it, because if something moves, it throws things off a little bit. So I finally broke down and went and got myself something where I can do it a little more precise. All right, I went ahead and picked up a Tipton Ultra Vice. Now it's got two clamps on there. It's got a third one right in the middle here, and this has got a mag block on it. In case you want to do anything to an AR-15, your mag well just slides right over there and it holds your AR-15 style rifle pretty secure on there. You got the two clamps here, and you got two trays. The two trays are identical. They got little compartments in there to store any of your little extra goodies, nuts, bolts, screws, washers, all that kind of stuff in there. And everything just kind of snaps off the rail there. You can take these pieces off. You just loosen up this knob right here and take the whole thing off, and they will slide back and forth on the rail there. Tighten it down to where you need it for whatever firearm you're putting on there, and it'll hold everything from rifles and crossbows and regular bows, compound bows. It'll hold pistols. You can get it set up to where you whatever length you need, and clamp everything in there pretty secure. So if you're going to mount a scope on a handgun, you can go ahead and do that. I bought this because I picked up another rifle I'm going to do a review on, and I wanted to make sure I got my scope on there just as the best I could do. So this will allow me to put the rifle in there, and it'll hold just about any kind of configuration, whatever kind of stock you got on there, it'll hold it pretty much. Now this one doesn't have a real pronounced buttstock on it, so you got to have something to get in there and hold it up pretty secure. And this is a pretty good choice for it anyways. Now you cannot, I don't think you can over tighten anything on here, because it's just the way it's made. It will push one side over, back and forth, whatever, but you can't over tighten it. And then the finish, the plastic that's on the pads on there are a non-marring finish, so you don't have to worry about it messing up your fore end or your buttstock or anything. But now with having this in there, I can take my little levels and I can put them on my action somewhere, and a good flat spot on my action, and I can get it leveled up without having to twist the firearm itself or worry about shot bags or anything moving around, because there are some adjustable feet on here. Now once I've got the rifle in there and I've got my level on it, I can take and adjust these, and this will tip the whole frame side to side, and I can make sure I've got my level just where I need it, and then I can adjust my scope to match. Now it'll hold traditional stocks too, and like I said, it's adjustable to fit just about any kind of firearm you can imagine putting in there. So whatever it is you're working on, you can get it in there, and still you can level it up with the adjustable feet on there no matter what you're doing to it. So it's pretty handy for mounting scopes, I think, and it's also a pretty good gun vise for doing some gun maintenance too. It's not it's pretty sturdy, but it's not as solid as what I would like to see. I have noticed that on these clamps here, on the riser parts of it, if you push, you can push that all the way down there. And I don't like that, because if you've got something that's got a little bit of weight to it, it could slip on you. And I have tightened the knob down on this side here. That's what locks that in. I've tightened it pretty tight, and you can still take a little bit of force and push it down there. Now, I wouldn't suggest doing any hammering or anything on your firearm while it's in there. You shouldn't really need to, but I just don't like that too much, and I don't like that you can't really, you can't really hammer down on these clamps, because as you tighten one, the other will loosen. But it's a pretty solid grip on there, and the rubber really kind of helps grip in there, so you don't have to worry about it moving around too much. I wish I could put a little more tension on it than what it does, but it seems to do what it's supposed to do. Now if you're going to be working on an AR-15, you can remove these. All you do is loosen that knob up, and it kind of hooks on one side, and it's got the clamp on the other side. You take that off and put this block on there. Same thing, it just hooks on there, pushes down, snug it up on there. And you may want to leave one of these on, you may not. Make sure your firearm is clear. Now there's going to be a couple of issues here with the way the top of this is made. If you've got your bolt in a closed position, you're not going to be able to push it all the way down and have the magazine actually catch in the little slot that's made right in there. If you pull the bolt back, lock it open, it will go all the way down and catch in the magazine catch, and it's pretty solid grip on there. It's not going to come out. But now you can't open it because you've got your bolt pulled back. Now if you want to open this up and do some maintenance on it, go ahead and take it off, release your bolt, open up your takedown pin, and once you've got the bolt out of the way there, then it'll lock on there. Now you want to take your bolt out, especially if you're going to do any cleaning on the barrel, because you've got to have it out of the way to be able to get it in there. And you can take this and adjust it so that your forend will go down in there. Snug that up. Now you can reach through there and do any cleaning, put your little pan or something underneath here to catch any drippings that are going to come out. Do whatever you want on it to do your cleaning and maintenance and stuff. Now one of the other cool things about this is if you have an AR-15, you don't want to pull the trigger and let the hammer go flying, because as you do that, the hammer slams up against there and it can cause some damage. So you've got this little piece right here that you can flip over, and this is called an integrated hammer stop. It's a little rubberized piece that flips over here and kind of interrupts your hammer so it doesn't slam forward. Now you can go ahead and pull your trigger. If you're doing a trigger job on an AR-15 and you want to use your pull scale to see what your weight is, you don't have to worry about it doing any damage to it. And then resetting is a piece of cake. Pull it as many times as you want and it won't damage it. The problem with this is, though, if you've got the bolt in there, you cannot flip this up all the way and close it, because all this mechanism up here gets in the way of that. So I'm not a big fan of that. Another thing you don't want to do is, if you're going to put a barrel on an AR-15, you don't want to do it in here, because there is a warning on here that says do not exceed 100 inch-pounds on the torque on here, and you're going to need to put more than 100 inch-pounds on there to get it tightened, and it's just not made to handle that kind of torque. There are blocks specifically made to hold this in a regular vise so you can put a barrel on. All right, now the whole reason I even got this was because I want to be able to mount a scope on here, and I want to be able to do it the best I possibly can. And the nice thing about this is, once I've got it in there, I can put my level on my action and I can get the feet adjusted on here to get it perfect, and then I can move my level up onto my scope and get it adjusted on there too, because I want to be able to make it the best I can, remove any excuses I can anyways, I guess. But the nice thing about it is it holds everything pretty secure and allows you to put your scope on there the proper way. Now I'm going to get this thing mounted on here, get it adjusted, make sure it is perfect, or close to perfect as I can get it. And if you could, hit this button up here to check out some of my other videos. Hit this one over here to subscribe if you haven't already, and consider taking a look at the Tipton Ultra Vice. I'll put a link in the description below, and check it out and decide for yourself whether you want it. There's a bunch of different ones out there, but this one is probably the most configurable, and I'm going to get this thing adjusted and then we'll get it out on the range later on.